work over your family again.
I'm doing this for the family again.
No, you're not.
There he is. Redemption of a Dog tells the story of a character built around the persona of Snoop Dogg. It features Snoop's music and co-star Tamar Braxton as well, and the man himself, going way back to one of my first big interviews ever, Snoop Dogg, sitting in our studio.
Yes,
it feels good for us. What's it like for you to be back in Detroit? Detroit has special meaning to you.
It does, man. I stayed out here a couple of summers with my father in the 80s and worked at McDonald's and got the name Young Eggs because I was so good at that breakfast shift.
Young Eggs.
Cracking them eggs. So shout out to all my folks that used to work at McDonald's with me and all my peoples in the D. You know what it is.
You still got family here?
Oh, yeah, I got a lot of family out here.
Yeah, good, man, good. Well, welcome to another home that Snoop Dogg has.
It's good to see you, brother. Look at you, shaking and
know,
baking,
I already
still
thanked you
moving
for
and
what you
grooving.
did for me early in my career, but
That's right.
I won't bore you guys with that story, but the man helped me early in my career, so always thanks to Snoop Dogg.
Much love.
Now, let's talk about this show.
Right.
Is this show about Calvin Broadus? Is this show about Snoop Dogg? Is this about some other character?
It's probably 95% me and then 5% everybody that has probably went through something like this or has a success story with love involved and, you know, fighting for what you believe in. So, you know, it's sort of kind of autobiographical, but it's really not because it's not my whole life story. It's just bits and pieces to help you understand what I went through to sustain and what my wife went through staying down with me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do. Talk about doing something like this because you've done movies, you've done videos, you've toured the world. Your brand is known around the world. Why do something on stage when you can do something on film, move on to the next project and get that payday?
This feels genuine, it feels authentic, and it feels organic to who I am. I put out a gospel album, and the gospel album did so well, but a lot of people didn't understand why or how. This is the answer to that. This is the follow-up to the gospel album to show you the full transformation, the full redemption of a man who found himself back home. You know, sometimes dogs get lost, but if you give a dog a bone, he'll find his way back home.
I just like the way you talk, man. So let's go back for a minute. The first time I interviewed, he graciously gave me an interview that saved my career. I was talking about East Coast, West Coast rap.
Righteous.
Pac hadn't died yet. Biggie hadn't died yet. We were talking about something. That was a hot issue back then. How did you make it through all of that and sustain a career?
I think my mother's prayers, my grandmother's prayers, and just being brought up the right way and just understanding that, you know, it was more to life than I was living for at the time. You know, a lot of decisions that I made were based on what I thought it could be as opposed to what it was. And I just feel like God used me, you know what I'm saying? He wanted me to be here because I could have been one of the two that was gone as well, or the next one to be gone. But it was a reason and a purpose, and that's what I'm here doing my thing, representing, being there for the kids, the babies, the community, doing my thing in all aspects of life and just having fun and living my best life.
I remember talking to you back in the day, and the one thing that has always stood out to me is your connection to the truth. It comes through in your music, it comes through when people are talking to you. I've never felt like you steered me wrong. You might not have answered the question directly, but you've never steered me wrong. What is that? What started you doing that when you were a young fella? Because we were both young fellas back then.
Right, well, you know, my mother always told us to, you know, be upfront and stand on what you mean and say what you mean and don't apologize for what you say if you don't really mean what you say. So as a youngster, I was always able to speak my mind. I got suspended a lot, got a lot of whoopings, but it taught me how to create who I am as far as to stand down and to be, you know, who I am for things that I believe in. If I believe in it, I'm gonna go with it to the fullest and I'm gonna ride it out and I'm gonna stand on top of right, what I believe that's right. You know, I know the difference between right and wrong, but I'm gonna stand on what I believe is right.
All right. We got a lot more to talk about, but let's talk about the stage play where people can come see Snoop Dogg, Redemption of a Dog. The stage play, October 25th through the 27th, Music Hall Center in Detroit for the Performing Arts. Tickets start at $59, and this is a unique opportunity to see Snoop Dogg in person on stage performing in something we've never seen him do. We're going to talk animal videos when we come back.
Oh, you like that?
We're going to talk some cooking when we come
Oh,
back.
you like that, huh?
You do, multifaceted man. Plus, I want to ask you something. I don't know if people understand how smart this man really is. Well, we'll ask him about his IQ. That's coming up. when
with
we
my
return.
G Lee. We'll be right back, baby.